I'm joined live from our studios in Abuja by a woman and child activist, Ms. Bilkis Kamadi. You're welcome to News Across Nigeria. Now, the National Bureau of...
Thank you very much, Alamidi.
You're welcome. Now, the National Bureau of Statistics have said that you need that dependable data that is current for proper planning. How important is this in your experience?
In my experience, I'm going to say the data are important, but how are they? What efforts are they making to get the data? How are they getting the data? Are they just going to towns, or are they really going out to villages? Are they really going out to places? Because, like in the FCT, we have some villages where you cannot even where you don't have a motorable way. We have villages where you only use bike. We have villages where you only use you go by boat. How do they go to that place, those places? Have they been to such places? Have they really gone out to the urban areas, like in the villages, in the grassroots, where these women who are really in need, women and children who are really in need of this help in terms of education, health, malnutrition, and all? Have they really gone to those places? It is important to get these data, but what efforts are they making? Are they just going out to places they feel they can just go to, or are they really going out, reaching out to those women, reaching out to those children, reaching out to youths, reaching out to mothers and daughters down in the grassroots who really need this help?
How do you perceive that? How then do you perceive government's involvement in the protection of rights of women and children?
I'm going to say that in Nigeria, to be precise, I don't think the government has been protecting the rights of the women. I'm going to say that because
why?
It is only women who are enlightened that even know about their rights. A lot of women I've met, a lot of women I've interacted with, a lot of women I've met during my course of philanthropy, a lot of women I've met in the grassroots do not know anything about their rights. Okay, let's take the case of a woman I had whose husband stabbed her in the eye just because of assumption. He just assumed she's having an affair. What rights? What rights does she think she has? She doesn't know anything about the rights. When you take things like that to the head is supposed to take it to the local council. Things like that don't happen. The women in Nigeria don't
what about the children?
It is only enlightened women. Even the women who are even enlightened, it is few of them that really know how to exercise their rights.
So you have a problem with the enlightenment of women across the board as to what their rights are. Do you think the government is doing enough to make women aware of their rights?
I don't think. The government is doing, I don't want to say nothing, but the government is not doing, the government is not doing enough to make women understand their rights, to let women
you're on the ground.
A normal,
Ms. Kamadi,
in Nigeria, the only right a woman has is in the kitchen.
Sorry to interrupt you. You're on the ground there. I see you do a lot of work with women and children. You go to the villages. So you're speaking from your experience of those who have had the short end of the stick, or who have suffered abuse of some sort, as it were. But let's look at the issue of orphans now, and orphan children. You've worked with children as well who are orphans. What is the most significant need that you've encountered at the locations where you worked with children who are orphans?
I'm going to say the most significant needs so far is that of education and then malnutrition. You know, when you go to these places and you meet these people, sometimes when you meet with a child, you tend to even shed tears. You tend to cry because you see a child standing and then you'll be able to count his or her rapes. You understand? There are children. There's a village called Peti in FCT here. The first time I went to that village, they didn't have a school. The only thing they used for a school was just, I think, They were using, they were under a tree. And then when I got there, we were able to do a little something for them to start up a school for them. 90% of the children in that village do not go to school. And the 10% that go to school do not even know what they are doing there. The Nigerian government has to do something about the orphans. Not even the orphans. We have orphans who are well-to-do. We have orphans who are living fine. There are children who are even living below the poverty standard in this country. People who are really going through a lot. When you go to school, you find out that the PTA fees of 500 naira a child cannot pay, and then he'll be sent out of the school. Some of these public schools do not have school fees. They just pay 500 naira for the PTA fees. But you find out that it's even difficult for these probably children to pay.
Okay, we certainly hope that the government works more closely with the private sector and individuals such as yourself to bring home, to fill that gap concerning the need for women and children. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Ms. Bilkis Kamadi, a woman and child activist in Abuja.